Hi, I'm Pat Fiume. I've been a realtor for over 30 years. I'm a host of the American Dream Show. Welcome to my show, Is This for Real Estate? Welcome back. I'm here with Rich Lukoff from Lukoff Engineering and Associates. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Known you a long time.
Yep.
This is exciting.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a long run.
Yeah. So how did you get started as an engineer and in real estate transaction business?
Well, I basically went through school, got my civil engineering degree, but in civil there's many different specialties, buildings, highways, whatever. I took the building route. Had a real job or real jobs for maybe 10, 15 years or so, and then eventually set up my own office. We started early on doing engineering as well as home inspections. Now we pretty much limit it to engineering. Engineering issues. I still have my home inspection license, but we restrict it to structural engineering.
So how do you get involved in a real estate transaction for people who don't know about what a structural engineer does? Like, I guess the home inspection happens and then you get called in when there's an issue?
Yeah, if we're getting involved through the real estate route, it would be that usually, not always, but usually there's been a home inspection, there's some issues, and people need an opinion on it. And not just maybe an opinion, but a solution, which means a drawing sometimes, or a sketch, or whatever. There's also the non-real estate route, which oftentimes will get calls for someone that wants us to come in and they want to do the grand kitchen thing. So they want to remove like 2 or 3 bearing walls, posts, removing posts in basements for pool tables. We get that call all the time.
So you can give people the answer if they're able to do what they want to do or not.
We can tell them if they want to do it. We can prepare a drawing for the header that has to be put in. It's it's very, very popular now. People,
open concept stuff.
Yeah, people sat in their homes for 3 years during COVID and were trying to figure out how they could take the whole first floor and make it into a kitchen. So we get those calls all the time.
Or the man cave, or
you got it.
So what's some things that you've seen, I guess, that people should be aware of, or in your career? You've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, well, with respect to real estate, which I know is primarily our audience here, there's really 3 or 4 key areas that we just keep seeing constantly and constantly. Why? Because they actually form the basis of the most claims that are made. Claims being, someone buys a place, gets in, and something's wrong. The roof leaks, basement's wet, whatever. So the top 4 items, and this is a fact. This isn't just Rich Lukoff making this up. This is right from the insurance company underwriters. The biggest by far is foundation issues.
Yes.
They're big because they can get very expensive very quickly. A lot of times they can be repaired, sometimes not so much.
Wow.
After foundations, then you're into like roofs, leaking roofs, wet basements, and maybe hidden termite damage that wasn't found. Now, obviously, there's many other things that come up during a sale. Electrical issues, furnace that's bad, whatever. But let's face it, a furnace, if it has to be done, a furnace isn't at the top of the list I just gave you, because a new furnace might be $5 grand.
Right, but a structural problem is
a foundation, if you need a new problem, could be, well into 5 figures or 6 figures if you need a complete new foundation. So I'm not discounting the electrical issues and the plumbing issues and the HVAC, but the top 4 that I gave you, those are really... So
you deal with the basic structure of the house and then making sure it's sound, and if there's issues,
we can come in and give a second opinion to the inspection. We can provide drawings if needed. Oftentimes, an opinion is in conflict, and they want a second opinion or third opinion, so we can tiebreaker. So we can do that as well.
I remember one time, I think it was a house, it might have been Ramblewood, that you came in. It had a weird staircase. It was like sunken and then it came back up, like you came down the stairs and it was like sunken, and there was something structurally wrong with it. And I'm like, I gotta get rich, because you're the only one I trust for that kind of stuff, and you told them what they had to do to support it.
I'm glad you remember, because I can't say that I do.
I remember specifically, it was a really interesting, weird staircase layout in the foyer, and it kind of sunk into the foyer.
Right.
But the problem was underneath.
Right.
The way it was built, and you told my people how to fix it, and then the seller did fix it. But you always give them a graph and tell them what to do, and if needed. You know.
Whatever they need, we can do basically. The only thing we don't do is do the actual repair.
Right. But you tell them what they have to do. It's like a blueprint.
What they need, give them a spec. If it's a header, we can, and they have a builder on board already, we can just give them the header size. If they need a drawing, we can prepare the drawing. So there's...
It's nothing worse than buying a house and having a major structural issue. So, you get a home inspection done and they suspect something, they call you or somebody like you that's a structural engineer to come in and look at it, because you're always better safe than sorry.
Yeah, and it used to be that, termites and hidden termite damage was a major issue. Anymore, the foundations have exceeded that, but we'll still get a lot of times a termite issue coming up where they want to call, is this the right way to repair it? So so there's no end to...
Years ago, I had one in Edgewater Park. I have a good memory with houses, but I can never remember names. But they bought the house, and they were moving the laundry upstairs for the mother. It was in the basement. Who lived with them. I'll never forget. And they opened the wall up, and there was termites. And this was after they bought the house, and you came in and told them what to do to support it. I remember that. It's been a while. That was probably 25 years ago or more. It's been a long time.
There's been a lot of termite cases over the years.
Yeah. So what tips do you have for people, buying a home, selling a home, or even just homeowners in general, to keep an eye on, or things that they can do to prevent things like this from happening?
Yeah. Well, in terms of the buy-sell process, we see oftentimes today stuff getting waived, like home inspections.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Other things, but honestly, my own opinion would be the home inspection should be the last thing that you want waived.
Right.
Especially for older homes, flips. You just shouldn't go there. If for some crazy reason you have to go there, and again, I'm obviously not an attorney or anything, if there's one or two specific things and there's no time to do a home inspection, if time is the issue, a lot of times we can get out there and just do like a quickie two-point engineering inspection, like roof and foundation.
Right.
Or, foundation and
or if they took a wall out,
damage.
Looks funky.
Or if they took a wall
Did
out.
they support it right? Yeah. I've seen some of it.
I've got some photos with me of walls that were taken out, people doing their own headers. But so number one, I would not waive a home inspection or some sort of inspection under any circumstances.
Yeah, I agree.
And then I guess number two, on the flips. And don't get me wrong, because I'm a big proponent of flips, because I think they're the future of increasing our housing stock.
Yes.
There's
good flippers and bad flippers.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
If you're going into a flip, there's flips where you have painted walls, carpet,
fresh paint,
and maybe some subway tile in the kitchen,
right.
But nothing else.
Right.
Okay. Those are the ones that someone's got to look at it.
Absolutely.
If not a home inspector or an engineer, get a contractor in there. Just get it looked at, because that's, to me, the paint and carpet flip
is a red flag.
Is not a complete flip.
Yeah.
You know that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I try not to tell buyers to waive inspections ever. If it's unfortunately a lot of these agents, and because of the way the market is right now, they're telling people terms and conditions, or telling them they want them to waive things. But a lot of agents have been putting in there, for major structural, environmental, and systems, only. You know, because all the little stuff's okay, but you always got to look at the foundation. I
Yep.
would never tell anybody to waive anything.
Yep.
So you have some pictures of examples of anything you'd like to show, or?
I do. I have a bunch of things here. We don't have to look at every one, but yeah, this would be the typical, get you a look at it, typical foundation issue. We've got a horizontal crack. Mm-hmm. We've got water.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. Here's one which is interesting. I mean, this is a
There's been some patchwork.
this
done
is
to
a
it.
do-it-yourselfer.
I was going to say.
Look what we've got here. Two real fat mortar joints.
Uh-huh.
So these joints were open cracks that someone filled in,
Wow.
and the wall has been pinned. So just by a quick look at a photo like this, we can see that there's a history here.
Something was done.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Get the
definitely.
disclosure, get the permits if they had any permits, because this is a structural repair.
And I think anything that's structurally done to a house, every township has a permit card.
Yes.
So if you have a question about a house that you're buying or looking at, or even a house that you have bought, you can go to the township and pull the permit card. I think it's like or OPA request, they call it.
Yep.
You can write a request to the township and they'll send you back whatever permits were pulled.
Absolutely correct.
What else in here do you think is a good example? Is that a roof?
Yeah, I'll give you one more here.
Okay. So I guess,
This is notorious because
is that a roof?
this was a flip. This is a roof, or was a roof. You've got a little, what they call a cricket here.
Wow.
To I think this was a combination of a chimney and something else.
Maybe
But,
flashing or?
yeah, this was a flip where the roof wasn't inspected.
So they flashed, they roofed
So what do
over
we
the
got
flashing?
here? Yeah, you've got no flashing. You've got this wood siding, which is all rotted.
Right.
The roof is leaking, obviously.
Some of the
Forgetting
shingles
about
don't look
this.
that good
Yeah,
either. Yeah.
So
They're
this
wavy
was a
and stuff.
nightmare where someone got in, the flip itself, and I forget where this was in pretty nice condition
Mm-hmm.
inside. But this is what you got upstairs, and you can't, you have to be expecting.
Right.
And this was big, because this was not only the water, but there was structural damage below,
Yeah.
plus the siding, plus the roofing, plus
They
there's
can
no
cause a lot
flashing
of
here. Yeah,
damage.
this is all
Yeah.
rotted. All these black areas
Oh,
are
boy.
rotted, yeah.
I had a buyer one time that bought a house and he called me up and it was like all brand new. It wasn't a flip, but the people redid the house and it was kind of like in a U shape, and he's like, my bedroom wall's leaking. And it was like a snowstorm. He went upstairs and put his boots on. I said, just be careful, and his foot went through the roof.
Right.
It was only a couple-year-old roof and the whole thing was rotted.
Yep,
It was like, I said, you need to get an engineer over there like right away to look at this,
right.
Crazy.
Here's one old one. I forget where this was. This is probably 150,
Older house for sure,
200
because it's
years
got
old.
the brick foundation, yeah.
brick floor, brick and stone foundation.
Wow.
And it's interesting because you can see, you got a new water heater, new boiler, mostly new piping, but they never really did anything about the water situation.
It looks like
here.
there's water and mold and all kinds of stuff going on.
The appliances are up on concrete blocks, so
Wow,
we know
that's a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
There's water.
Yeah, that's a dead giveaway.
So I guess when it comes to water, from when people are looking at a house, the best thing to do is look around the perimeter.
Yep.
Like I've seen houses where they're finished or they've ripped paneling down, and you can actually see like water lines on the
Yes.
2x4s or the panelings
Yes.
edges rippled from the water.
Yes. These next couple, basically, they're pretty disgusting, but they're basically a termite problem
Or, oh boy.
that was driven by water and moisture
Yeah.
getting into the wall.
Termites are attracted to water, right?
Yep. Another shot
Wow.
of the same
So
thing.
it's a whole wall of a house.
Yeah, so this,
Termites can do a lot of damage.
yeah, so this can be big. You were talking about the sagging header.
Yeah,
Here it is. This was the original back wall of the home.
and they did it themselves.
They opened up, did it do it yourself. I said, let's get it all opened up and see what's in there. So we get it opened up, and it's
Oh, yep.
like 3 2x8s, which is nowhere near enough for the 14 foot or whatever that they opened
Was there a
it up.
second floor in that house?
Yes.
Oh my God, it could have collapsed. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And then finally, we have a throw-in here.
Oh, yeah.
And I put this in for a particular reason. Oftentimes people will say when they're buying a place, it doesn't meet code. And maybe it's 20, 25 years old. It doesn't meet code. Well, this deck is probably 25 years old. There's no way it could meet current code.
Right.
But be that as it may, it's probably structurally safe, but you can just see it doesn't have the proper rails. It doesn't have the proper guards. So for not a lot of money, this thing could be...
You could bring it up to code and make it safe.
Yeah. So if someone like in a buy-sell situation gets into calling this a showstopper, I mean, that's really not right. You can upgrade this thing pretty easily.
Anything can be fixed.
Anything
most
can
of the
be
time.
can be fixed. I mean, this thing's pretty old, but I seem to remember when I went through this, there was no evidence of collapse. So
It's just
it is what it is.
Yeah, sometimes we see decks that aren't bolted to the house, or they don't have the proper footings.
Yes.
Like you have to dig up and see that. I know I've had you do stuff like that.
Yep.
So I guess you've been doing this a long time. What's your funny story, or do you have a couple funny stories you tell at a cocktail party?
God. I have.
In pertaining to your
I could give you hours worth of stories. I mean, just on the crawl space and attic stories and the vultures that I've run into, like snakes and whatever. But I'll one of my better stories. We'll stay away from the vultures and stuff. I was doing an inspection a while back. It was a large home, I think in Voorhees. And the realtor had called me and said, here's the combination, just let yourself in, no one will be there. I know today that's not quite the way it's done anymore, but this was back in the day, right? And so I go over to the house, go through the first floor, go through the second floor. On the second floor, all of the bedroom doors were closed. So as you would expect, and as I would normally do as part of standard practice, I would knock on the door, wait for an answer. I didn't bother in this home to wait for an answer because they assured me
nobody was
several times that no one was home. So lo and behold, I get to of course it had to be the last bedroom. I get to the last bedroom, knock, 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 open the door. Lo and behold, the seller's son is there with his girlfriend, and they were having a good old time.
I'll bet.
And it was...
He wasn't supposed to be home.
I guess he wasn't supposed to be home, and if he was, she wasn't supposed to be there. And, they weren't... These were, teenagers. They weren't. They weren't. They weren't exactly adults, and So, I mean,
we do see some weird.
I've had other stories similar to that, but that's pretty whatever.
Yeah.
And they were just laughing, and they said, "Yeah, we weren't supposed to be here," and whatever. But
well, thank you so much for being a guest and coming by today.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed this immensely.
Oh, it was nice to have you and see you again.
It's good seeing you again. Thanks,
All right.
Pat.
Thank you.
Okay.